the circumstances.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Gross seconds. Roll call vote, please, Ruth.
Councilman Cullen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hudak?
Yes.
Councilman Yee?
No.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Supervisor Wrights?
No. Motion carries 3 votes to 2. That concludes the votes this evening, but we have leave a special meeting open for the next item on the agenda, which is a brief statement by me regarding the 2011 budget.
Michael?
Yes.
Just the reason this was called is by law. I have to present the town board the budget, which I will present to you. The town board has already received it, but it must be done at a public meeting.
Yes.
I'll pass this along.
And the budget was timely filed September 30, 2010.
You have to.
Thank you.
Okay. No, you got to take it back.
I have to-
Southeast.
This is a well-oiled machine.
Southeast Budget Officer's message, 2011 budget. Proposal to freeze property taxes in Southeast. Our challenge to do more with less. Item 1, how the budget impacts your tax bill. I'm delighted to report to you that for the 3rd year in a row, I'm proposing a budget that features no increase in property taxes. Property taxpayers in Southeast are taxed enough already. 2 years ago, keeping a campaign promise, I presented a budget that featured a 10% cut in property taxes. Last year, and again this year, I'm proposing a property tax freeze in Southeast. By taking sensible and straightforward measures, we can rein in the cost of government. Appropriations. General townwide and general outside the Village of Brewster, budget lines A and B. Townwide, which is the A line, I propose $3,817,692 in appropriations and $2,276,248 in estimated revenues. My budget makes no provision to utilize Southeast's remaining unexpended fund balance. The fund balance is low, around $160,000 estimated at the present time. Ultimately, the fund balance needs to be replenished. Townwide, my budget provides for an amount to raise by tax of $1,541,444. This is a reduction of approximately $250,000 in these lines relative to last year's budget as adopted by the town board. General outside the village, or the B line, I propose $739,986 in appropriations and $713,000 in anticipated revenues. The Highway Department, budget lines DA and DB. In consultation with the Highway Superintendent, I left the Highway Department budget largely unchanged from last year, with the exception of eliminating one paid position. Our core mission in town government is public safety. Townwide, I propose $1,275,192 in appropriations and $25,000 in estimated revenues. And in the town outside the village, I propose an additional $1,885,689 in appropriations and $128,000 in anticipated revenues. Municipal debt service. Debt service jumped significantly from last year as Southeast undertook significant capital projects, including, for example, the landfill closure project. That's proceeding timely and should be finished this year in compliance with Department of Environmental Conservation mandates. I propose $1,042,172 in appropriations for municipal debt service. By the way, no debt was incurred to build the water spray park at Wells Park, and it did not cost Southeast taxpayers a dime because the town board unanimously agreed to utilize Recreation Department funds harvested from private sector projects, contractors, and builders in Southeast. Item 2, past refusals by the town board majority to allow economic competition on public expenditures must change immediately. Folks, I estimate that 85% of the votes by the Southeast Town Board are unanimous, and perhaps it's a higher percentage. When it comes to spending your money, that is not the case. I wish that I could report to you that members of the town board are working hard to save you money. In other communities, boards which spend money utilize public competition to save money. Regrettably, in our community, that is not always the case. It happened again earlier this year on January 21, 2010, with yet another 3-2 vote, which defeated economic competition for public expenditures in engineering, legal, and computer services for 2010. Afterwards, I recognized that taxpayers in Southeast needed help, and I reached out to the New York State Office of the Comptroller for assistance. As documented in a report by the New York State Office of the Comptroller, between January 2009 and March 2010, the Southeast Town Board majority placed approximately $1.8 million property tax dollars without allowing economic competition for these public dollars. I refer to these colossal public expenditures without competition as the gravy train for the good old boys. I and Councilman Yee and the New York State Comptroller demand that the gravy train be stopped. The broken and unfair practice must be replaced with economic competition for public dollars, as is routine in other communities. Later this evening, during the work session portion of this meeting, the Town Board will discuss requests for proposals to seek to save taxpayers' hard-earned tax dollars and begin to peel away the waste and luxury spending which has benefited political insiders for decades without competition in Southeast. My property tax freeze for 2011 is built on accepting economic competition for public dollars. In addition to 2011, I've asked municipal departments to operate with less funding in most instances. I'll continue to look for ways to reinvent, and I'll continue to work with my colleagues on the Southeast Town Board to reinvent the way we operate government so that we can offer governmental services at the lowest possible cost while preserving our core function of public safety, and in Southeast, our ancillary commitment to recreation. As I've done for the past 3 years, I'll continue to pursue consolidation, partnerships, outsourcing, and other cost-cutting measures. In addition, we need to lobby New York State government to enact reforms to enable local governments to reduce unnecessary spending, but we cannot rely on the cavalry riding over the hill between now and January from New York State. 2011, item 3. The 2011 budget seeks to balance service needs and tax concerns. Like hosts of municipalities in our region and state, in the present recession economy, Southeast faces significant revenue declines, as well as increases in costs outside of the town's control. In 2010, the use of the additional funds drawn from the unexpended fund balance arose principally from the refusal of the Town Board majority to allow economic competition on public expenditures, from the New York State Pension Fund assessment of an additional approximate $200,000, from a shortfall in anticipated revenues from the Planning Department, and for example, as the town anticipates the arrival of significant commercial projects which have already been approved at State Line, at Crossroads 312, and in other instances, and as well as from the shortfall from the infamous MTA commuter tax and similar unfunded New York State mandates. As I've discussed with many residents, if the Town Board adopted for 2011 the budget that passed 3-2 for 2010, then Southeast Town taxpayers would face an increase in property taxes of about 46%. That's 4-6. Obviously, there is no way that I, or in my estimation my colleagues, could credibly present to the community a 46% property tax increase. My budget contemplates significant downsizing of personnel while preserving our core function of public safety and our ancillary commitment to recreation in Southeast. In the context of these expenses, as a town, we have to make difficult choices. Many residents are out of work or concerned about losing their jobs or their homes. Foreclosures are up around the region. Retirement savings losses and steep declines in home values compound financial distress for working folks, for families, for seniors, and for others. In light of these pressures, folks and families are taxed enough already. Our mandate is to represent our community family. My budget for 2011 balances the need to restrain tax increases with the service needs and expectations of our residents. In closing, I want to thank the department heads as well as my colleagues who have worked with me to craft smaller departmental budgets. I thank each department head for their work to do more with less funding from town taxpayers. I want to thank the leadership and members of the 2 unions which represent Southeast employees, the Teamsters and the CSEA, for their cooperation as we all look for savings going forward into next year. I'd like to thank the Brewster Fire Department Commissioners for their hard work crafting their budget, which I anticipate receiving shortly, and I praise the volunteer and I praise the volunteer firemen for their contributions to the community by keeping us all safer. I would also like to thank the dedicated town workforce for agreeing to the sacrifices they've made and for future challenges they will face to help to address these difficult budgetary times. During this period of fiscal austerity, it's their challenge and ours to do more with less. Our town has many beautiful places and enjoys many blessings. I'm proud of our community, and I look forward to achieving tax savings. Thank you.
I would like to make a comment on your comments.
Yes, sir.
First thing is, we're going to be facing unemployment costs this next budget period. Retirement contributions are going up all over the state. School districts, towns, community cities, all over, that's going up because of shortfall with the pension funds. Health costs are also going up. And we have to realistically look at these numbers. And in all candor, the budget that Mr. Reitz talks about is unrealistic. Okay, let me give you a quick example. He is eliminating the tax assessor's department and eliminating the tax collector's department, okay? And here's a letter dated October 7th from the supervisor, or from the county executive, Robert Bondi, and from this county legislator, Chairman Vinnie Tamagna. And it says, in part, we must advise you that we cannot agree to perform these functions, meaning tax collection, but particularly assessing, at this time for several reasons. First, the county legislature formally adopted the 2011 county budget on October 5th, 2010. Obviously, this budget did not include the necessary resources to accommodate your request. The supervisor was requesting that they handle our assessing. Since we do not even know of it until our budget was adopted, by law, the county budget cannot be amended once it's adopted by the county legislature. Second, we believe that consolidation proposals such as this have merit, but must be implemented, and the key word is in a well-planned, county-wide manner. The idea of consolidation is a good one. School districts are doing it, communities are doing it, Austin is doing it, Cortland did it with police. It's being done all over the place, and we certainly have to look at that. But planning is the key word. You just don't eliminate an agency and then worry about it later on. The county cannot do the job. So, again, the budget that was presented by the supervisor is unrealistic. And I resent the word gravy train. There's no gravy train here. Okay? No gravy train at all. He talks about RFPs and the large number he presented. Engineering costs and planning costs are basically paid for by developers and other projects that come along. The taxpayers do not pay those fees. We have an engineering firm we've had for 30 years. They know the town inside and out. They have a whole wall for the town of Southeast. You need knowledge and understanding and history to plan and to do engineering for a community. That's a key thing. He mentioned the computer thing. I did some research. This is a non-professional survey. We have a neighboring community that spends in excess of $20,000 on computers and computer repair. The bill last year was $12,000. We have a cut-rate computer guy who does a great job on maintaining our computers and updating them as necessary. You can't beat that. We're saving $8,000 off the bat. That's without even going any further. And often he does projects, I might add, for no cost at all. So I wanted to make these key points as I speak to you. We are looking at the budget. The three of us that were not really part of this tandem of the two that we're putting it together. And we'll come up with a viable, fair budget, and something the taxpayers can handle, realizing we have to fund a museum, we have to fund a library, we need a tax assessor, we also need a tax collector. But there'll be some cuts, no question about it. But we're going to present an intelligent, planned budget so the community will survive. We're in a tough time. So is Patterson, so is Carmel, so is the state of New York, as we all know. We will get through this together in an intelligent and realistic way.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman. To speak to your points very briefly, for the past 2 years, I've consulted repeatedly with folks in county government, at the county executive, the county legislature, the Real Property Services Office, and others, regarding the prospect of consolidating the town of Southeast tax services with county tax services. It is a realistic prospect. The